Hey everyone, this is a bittersweet thing for you. It's the first time we're having to do this for somebody that was a part of the show. But Tez, we love you. We miss you so much. This 10 bell salute is for you. What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to the final episode of the year for the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and I am joined by my beautiful wife, Tina.
Hola. I know it's rare. I'm never here, but here I am again.
We also got Tommy.
In honor of Tez, hi there, hey there, and hello.
I figured you would say that. And for the final time, Mike's opening line. Go for
to
it.
finish the streak, I'm Mike, and this is 2020. But may I also add 2020 GTFO. Right on out of here. Right on out of here.
POS.
The streak is done. The streak is done. 2021,
Yeah.
Let's get some better stuff going on then.
Jeez.
All right. Our Twitter account, of course, at CCG_WrestleCast, and subscribe here to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Today, we're going to quickly recap Ring of Honor Final Battle and WWE TLC and get to the main event of the show, our first ever WrestleCast year-end awards. Had a bit of fun with that. We all kind of submit our rankings for each of the categories, and then we all have each of our own kind of fun award as well. So,
Wait, were we supposed to put them in order?
yeah,
I thought you just wanted the three.
we're supposed to do it in order.
Can I change my thing while we're talking?
You message to me real quick. Yeah, I can edit it.
Just keep talking. We're good. It's all good.
All right. Well, we'll start with Ring of Honor Final Battle. The lone pay-per-view for Ring of Honor of the year, and obviously we knew it was pre-taped. We knew it was filmed on the 10th. They were obviously played it on the 18th, and there were a lot more matches than what had been advertised as well. So Mike and I caught a lot of highlights of it, but we know Tommy watched the whole thing. I know he was excited to see Ring of Honor. So, Tommy, this was the lone Ring of Honor pay-per-view of the year. What did you think?
I thought for when you take into account the year, the constraints, the number of things they had to change on the fly at the show, this was a stellar outing for ROH. Each match had a big match feel to it because of who was in it. Even the title match with Dragon Lee and Terry Deppen, even who I again was surprised he won the Fatal 4-Way. That went the distance. Terry Deppen, I think he has a future this coming year because that was a breakout. If I can name one dark horse performer of the whole night, it was him. I'm a fan of Danhausen, so I got to call out the match that he won by DQ by grabbing the mic, rubbing the face paint on the mic, and then he hit it against his hand and tossed it to Brian Johnson, and he laid on the ground. And the ref said, "Did you hit it with the mic?" He's like, "No." And so Eddie Guerrero all day long with that, but it was still funny as hell because he actually wiped the face paint on the mic, and I thought that's actually hilarious. So,
Looking over the results, was there anything that stood out to you guys like a surprise? I think we all thought at least one, well, except for Mike, thought a title would change hands, but surprising to me, none of them did. I thought maybe Gresham might have lost one because he had to fight twice. So
yeah. It did shock me until the very, very end of the pay-per-view when the Foundation came out to confront LFI. And then I was like, okay, that makes sense now. That's, especially when Rush's dad showed up because he's never been in ROH before. And I was like, oh, that's why this is happening. His dad, who By the way, I've seen him before, but he is like 100 times scarier than Roosh actually is. I'm sorry, that dude scares the crap out of me. I've seen him in pictures, and I would prefer to just see him in pictures because him actually moving like a person, which is, I'm using that term lightly, is scary as hell. That dude scares the crap out of me. Jeez, sorry.
I do want to shout out Shane Taylor, who got a big win over Jay Briscoe. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah. Probably the most hated guy in ROH when fans are there, but I guess what, fans aren't there right now, so you can do whatever.
See, here's what I forgot to tell y'all a little bit ago is I almost got into like a comment war with someone on their Facebook about Shane Taylor. They said something like, why Shane Taylor still booked there? I was like, because he's a good wrestler, and someone said no, he's not, and I was like, okay, let me calm down. I almost got went to Facebook jail over that one. Let me calm down. So
yeah, don't insult Tommy's favorites on social media or any of those platforms.
Yeah, it's not just that he's my favorite. It's like
not favorite, but favorites in general, like all the ones you like.
But but also with Shane Taylor is like people make the argument that he's not like the most technical guy in ROH. I was like, well, yeah, duh, that's not his style. He's a fighter. There are different styles in ROH. If we're going by that logic, Jay Briscoe is not a good wrestler either because he is a fighter. He used to be a technical guy when he was like 18, but he's not anymore.
So
he still can be. He's just
so the big guy's not the technical wrestler in the organization that prides itself on having so many great technical wrestlers. Wow. I mean, come on, people.
I mean, hey, maybe a different way, though. Yeah. I was a bit surprised. I don't recall seeing EC3 on this. I thought he would be making.
I think he was one of the ones that.
He was one of the guys who they had to change the match. He was going to wrestle Jay Briscoe, but he wasn't.
Okay.
That was some of the changes they made on the fly because they were also going to have the 6-man tag belts online. It was going to be Shane Taylor and the Sons of Savagery against the Mexa Squad, which I still feel wrong saying out loud. But they changed the match.
What?
And that's why I don't like saying their name because that's the first thing I think of. And it's like, that didn't work then. I guess it can work.
It's okay. You're part Mexican. You can say it.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll allow it.
I'll allow it. All right.
Where'd you go?
For our pick results, Tommy went 3-2. Myself, I went 4-1. And Mike pulled what we're going to coin now in honor of Tez. He pulled the Tez. He went 5-0. Of course, Tez is notorious for just showing up randomly, making picks, getting them all right. And I think we're going to miss that too. He would Brock Lesnar us at times. Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Like, seriously. Arrive, show up, win, and leave. Gosh. Yeah.
Well, I mean, about 4 years worth of Brock Lesnar, but yeah, you know.
True. Fair enough.
All right. On to our WrestleCast ratings. Of course, 0 to 5, 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember.
Let Tommy go first.
Yeah, I think Tommy's going to have to go first on this because I
don't get to rank this at all because I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
That's never stopped me before.
Tommy, go ahead and give your ranking for this one.
Honestly, I got to give this whole show a 4.5 because between not having a lot of time to get the booking together, and what I mean by that is like usually with ROH like storylines, they're spaced out. So a program between Roosh and Brody King, if they had time to do it like regular, this would have been a huge thing already. Like it'd have been like a big deal and everything. PCO and Mark Briscoe, that would have been a big deal and everything, and the changes they had to make on the fly because the guys weren't medically cleared or couldn't get there for whatever reason. Again, 2020 par for the course. I gotta give it a 4.5 because they it wasn't a perfect show, but my God, you can see the effort went into it, and even the matches that you can tell were probably worked on that day, Briscoe and Taylor especially, they were classics in their own right. I mean, Briscoe and Taylor, that's not a Angle Benoit classic, but it's a fight classic, and again, Terry Deppen made a believer out of me. I hope he has a huge things coming for him next year because to go with Dragon Lee like he did, and Dragon Lee we all know is just so freaking good, and to have a really good match with him, dude made a believer out of me. So yeah, I'm at 4.5.
All right. I personally don't feel comfortable ranking it because I haven't seen it the whole way through. Mike, you're more than welcome to throw a random one in if you want.
4.5. I mean, Deppen, right? I mean, what else could you say? and then Taylor and one of them good old boys had a fight. I mean, one of the Briscoes, they had a fight. What can you say about that?
Hey, well, guess
and
what?
Rush's dad was there? I mean, come on.
Hey, guess what? Our overall ranking was 4.5. What do you know? Hashtag math.
The
But it
averages
say
work out.
4.5 also.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? She knows
The
what's up.
average,
It's nothing against Ring of Honor. We apologize. I do want to see it. It was just a crazy weekend. You get around the holidays, even in a pandemic, there's so much going on. You don't realize it is actually pretty busy. Buying gifts online is probably just as bad as going to a store and trying to find them as well. So it's going to get crazy. So.
yeah.
All right, on to WWE TLC, the final pay-per-view event of the year. And kind of bittersweet. I think, did y'all feel like this one was actually going pretty well? And that ending, though. Did y'all feel that was kind of the thought of this match? Of this?
I didn't mind the ending that much, except that it was... I'm sorry. You know what? I'm biased towards one Inferno match in particular and just one. And that's Undertaker and Kane from 98. Because that's just one of my favorite those kinds of matches. That was just so batshit insane. It was like, first of all, who thinks of this? Of the match where you have to set your opponent on fire to win. Why is that a thing? But I thought this was a really, really solid show. In spite of that ending, and the ending was kind of meh, but everything else was great.
I think that's kind of what's happened though. Is I think it's very polarizing from what I've seen online. People either thought it was epic, or more like I think some of us where it's like, all right. Okay.
I kind of flip flop. Like I at one moment I don't think it's epic, other time I think it's dumb. It's just to me it's almost like a mood thing. It's like if you're in the mood for that kind of thing, it was awesome. If you think that it was kind of weird to do it that way, then that's your feeling. I feel like the bell should have been called when he was on fire the first time because
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, because
let's talk about that because it did look like he caught fire. They put it out almost. Yeah.
Well, it's some Hollywood stuff, and from what I've seen, it's just like it burns real quick, and it kind of it stays away, and then you just burn off whatever the gel is real quick, and then it dies out. But I never heard the bell either, and I was like, I was like, is this another one where they change the stip, and all of a sudden it's like an Inferno match by pin or submission? And I was like, do we have to do that now?
Set them on fire and pin them while they're on fire.
Yes, I was like, do we just change these again?
It's an Inferno submission match. You have to put them in a submission while they're on fire and make them tap.
So that way
I should have said
that.
I shouldn't have said that because now Vince is probably like Inferno submission match. Oh, who am I kidding? Junk aside, I probably did that in Japan already.
Yeah, sign it up.
Yeah, book it. Tina, I think this was your first Inferno match to see on TV. What were your thoughts of it?
Why?
I don't know.
Why? First of all, I was like, "What's it?" I asked, look at JC and I go, "Inferno match. How do you win?" And he goes, "Well, last time I've heard it's like you put your opponent on fire." So I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna like, I don't know, wear long sleeves.
They're gonna surround the ring with fire.
And they're gonna like.
That was the other that was missing.
And then they're just gonna do this and it's over,
Which is what they've done before,
Yeah.
And then the ending, when he's like, he takes too long, he looks at the match, and then all of a sudden you look down, he's about to drop it. I'm like, that's not Bray. That's a mannequin.
She's like, dang it, that's not really him. They lied.
It was a really bad angle to show.
Yeah.
They should have done a different angle and maybe it wouldn't have looked as obvious. But I was just like, why was this last?
You know what they should have done? I remember when, do you guys remember the Hell in a Cell between Edge and Undertaker right before he chokeslammed Edge to hell and they had that weird screen effect happen before he did that? They should have done that here. Like have that weird screen effect like where they could show random images and do it that way, kind of distort it and give it some kind of, I don't know, different feel.
They should have made it like that that surprise on the Mandalorian when they're watching it on the screen, and every time a big move hits the screen, kind of goes fuzzy, so you don't see
Yeah.
it clearly.
Yep.
It was like I really thought it was gonna be some kind of like cinematic outdoor thing when they said
Yeah.
Inferno. And then when they did
It
it there, I
almost
was
would have been
like,
better had it been that. That's the
Yeah,
weird
I was
part.
gonna I was gonna
thought-
say the same thing.
Better,
Well, I mean,
actually.
after watching it, I was like, why is this the main event?
Watching it though, I was having a hard time telling if it was a live or a cinematic because they had weird camera angles, different camera angles, and then the finish, of course, like that. And at one point in the match, but the only thing that caught me live was at one point when I was looking at the people in the Thunderdome, one guy was falling asleep, like he was literally like this.
Yep.
And he was on two screens, and the next shot over, they still showed him, and all of a sudden his camera cuts out. Like WWE caught it and turned his screen off because he
They're
was
like,
falling asleep.
nope, we can't have somebody falling
Yeah,
asleep right
so-
behind.
I guess.
And I mean-
I guess my other thing is that like how did that work? It was like were they told that it was gonna be like that? I don't know. I guess this is where the Thunderdome kind of hurts what they're doing.
Well,
Yeah.
because remember,
I said
all
it
the
might have been
Thunderdome
better.
people are seeing is a stream like we're seeing.
Yeah,
It's just on the. So I mean,
That's true.
you know what I mean?
Right.
They're not
Yeah.
really seeing it like in the arena. Another little pet peeve I have, and I think they've done this the last couple Inferno matches they've had, is the fire going high when there's like a big move hit. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, I don't know.
It was the most random thing.
And I'm like, you're not Kane? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And okay, I was just about to say that. It's like that only really works if it's Undertaker and Kane, two guys who are known for their supernatural. I'm not going to use air quotes. Supernatural powers, because first of all, the size of these two guys is the size of these two guys doesn't make sense anyway. So they are supernatural to me. Anyway, but it was just weird to do that. Plus, there was too much fire in that room. It's like, okay, someone should be sued. I don't know who it is, but someone should be sued.
Yeah.
I like how now that there's
fans there, but people who work there are in this building.
That's what I was
Someone
going to
should
say.
be
I like how since there's no fans here, all of a sudden we get fire and pyro all the time and like
Yes,
things
thank
spilling.
you. How does
I
that
thought
even
y'all
make
were trying to
sense?
cut the budget. Exactly. Yeah.
How does
so-
that even make sense? Like, let's use pyro. And I'm like, didn't you cut the budget? Because
Well, they
you
cut
weren't
like
selling
30
enough tickets?
people, so-
now you're definitely not selling any tickets. And, bring back the pyro. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I agree.
They spent the extra money on Drew McIntyre's sword, which is awesome, by the way. So, but, yeah.
Oh, y'all heard the story on that, right?
No. Nothing
It's
like
Vince
this.
McMahon's. That was apparently a gift that like Hunter and Stephanie gave him. And so when they went for the character, Vince was like, I got the sword. That's what I've read online. Like, seriously, like, not even kidding.
I'm just like,
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
well, okay, you know what? No, you know what? Hold on.
Well, because the
I can't say
McMahons
too much.
are.
But wait.
Rich?
I can't say too much.
Yes.
My dad has a sword collection, and I would absolutely buy him a sword if I could. So, never mind.
Dude, I want a sword, man. I want like a King Arthur
Yeah, I
Excalibur.
got this.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
I'll take that too.
I mean, this will work for me. So
Show off.
it changes color too because it's the Anakin
Dude,
one. So
I'm not
maybe-
going to lie. I
Yeah,
want to
so-
go to the Galaxy's Edge and do the thing where you build your own lightsaber.
Yeah.
I know it's like $200, but man, I want to go do that.
too. They also
say it's
released
worth
the dark saber. I heard they're releasing it, and I
They are releasing the Darksaber now, but by the way, Mike, Ryan Angela told us this because they did the whole Disney World build your own lightsaber thing. You can choose the color crystal if you want, but if you want the black one, you have to choose a red one, and there's a slight chance you might get a black one. So if you want the crystal,
You can't outright get a black crystal.
yeah,
The only way you can get one is you have to buy a red crystal, and then there's like one out of I don't know how many that are actually black crystals and not red crystals.
yeah. So when you put it in, and
So if you buy one and you get a red crystal, like you have to keep buying red crystals until you get a black one.
I also heard somewhere that like in the store next door, you could buy a white or there was some other color because like white's not an option in the thing when you build it, but then like
no,
you could buy it at the store separate. You could because like apparently you can also buy separate crystals.
yeah. you
Anyways,
buy separate crystals at the
WrestleCast,
store.
am I right?
Yeah.
That's what
No,
Ryan was
it's
saying.
yeah. go
Ryan
ahead,
built
Jan.
his, and I think he got yellow, right?
I
Something
think
like that.
so. Yeah,
And he said he wanted other colors, so he went to the store and got the other crystals.
Mm.
But the black one specifically, you can't just buy. You have to like basically it's by chance when you buy a red crystal.
yeah.
Wow.
Maybe that'll change now with this coming out. So
Doubt
Yeah.
it.
You mentioned Drew
He's gonna be like,
McIntyre.
keep buying.
How surprised were y'all that the WWE Championship match opened the show, and we got a cash in that didn't pan out?
Okay. I did like it because well, I liked it for several reasons. First of all, there was one chop that Drew hit on AJ that knocked him off the top rope, which was like one of my favorite spots. I laughed so hard when that happened because I was like, I think I laughed and yelled, "That was awesome!" So I did like the match. I thought it started the show was weird, and I thought the Miz's cash-in was weird. However, it did give us two great moments. Almost that giant black dude carrying him like a baby and throwing him onto a table like he was a undisciplined child. He was saying, "Go to your room." And then the amazing moment when Morrison smacked him in the back with a chair and the chair exploded, and he went Debo with thinking.
For real?
John Morrison would make a terrible. I don't know how he's ever survived an action movie. He'd make a terrible white girl in a horror movie because he'd die immediately. he does not know how to run.
Yeah, what was he doing?
I don't know.
He was like, "Oh no, I can't just go straight up the ramp and run away. Let me look at these tables and stop here." I was like, "What?" It's an empty arena.
Black friends. He has no black friends because he can't have any black friends if not one time he's ever heard from a black dude. Never ever wait around when an angry black man is stalking towards you. You run as fast as you can just in case he decides to start running as well.
Not to mention
he has no black friends.
He's a parkour dude. He could have leapt over all that stuff and gotten all crazy.
Yeah, he could have. I don't know what he was thinking.
I want to shout out the Hurt Business for finally winning a tag team championship because it always seems like they're right there. They finally beat the New Day for it, you know. And Tommy, I called it. I said Charlotte was going to be Asuka's partner last week.
Yep.
And it panned out. So you were kind of mad about it, like, you know what? She's right. She's going to come back. She's going to be a champion, you know.
Yeah,
champion now.
She's there. I mean,
she's a Grand Slam champion now.
Yes, she is. So. You know.
Yeah, I mean, talk about in all seriousness, though, if you think about it, they spent 2 or 3 months on this Lana story being put through a table.
Yeah.
She finally fights back. She got a pin on Nia Jax. Asuka comes out. It's her and it's all set up. And what did they do? Oh, she got injured. We're going to bring Charlotte Flair back and put a title on her immediately.
Yep, that's Lana.
They're Roman Reignsing her. They're like old Roman Reignsing her. Like they're making the fans want to not like her.
Yeah.
Because she just goes straight into a title.
But they're doing this because fans aren't there. That's the thing. Obviously, they're doing this because of the Rusev situation. Let's be honest. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's
obvious. Yeah.
You know? So that's obvious. They're going to make Lana's life hell. And they're not going to let her out of her contract. They just want to embarrass her on TV. So, and it sucks because I'm not saying she's the most talented wrestler, but she's working with what they give her, and then you're going to just kind of screw a character like that. That's pretty shitty. Yeah. So, you know.
So at this point, we can all agree that Lana deserves it more than Eva Marie because I've heard that Eva Marie might be coming back. So
I've heard that too.
What on earth is Eva Marie deserve?
I'm gonna bet that Eva Marie's gonna be in the Royal Rumble. So
I mean, that's possible. But she doesn't deserve anything.
No, she doesn't.
Hasn't been around.
Yeah.
No, I mean in general, if she was still around, I think I.
No.
I mean, Lana at her worst didn't botch half as much as Eva Marie did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because even at Lana's worst, she proves herself to be competent. Like, you know, she's okay, yeah, and we're all in agreement. She's not the best wrestler in the world, but like, I will take someone who's not the best wrestler who at least gets their spots right. Like, you know, because my mind flashes back to like when Mikey Whipwreck in ECW was a thing, and he was just like a 19-year-old kid who just helped them set up the ring, and they had him go out there and get beat up for 45 minutes, and he did his job. He went out there. He wasn't a good wrestler at the time. He got out there and got beat up for 45 minutes, and it was like, yeah, that's his gimmick. Cool. And then they put a world title on him.
I mean, the funny part is like you can see how it's done right. Like the biggest complaint we had about Eva Marie from the start was she didn't know how to sell. She didn't have the charisma. The biggest complaint we had about Shayna Baszler from the start, she didn't know how to sell. She didn't have the charisma. Shayna Baszler learned how to sell and actually put together a good match. Eva Marie just stayed pretty stagnant. Like you didn't really do anything to develop as a wrestler, you know. That was my biggest complaint.
To me, it's like with Lana, it's like I've seen this with a lot of wrestlers. As like wrestlers who are really good can even make the worst look good if they're trying. Like to me, I think Lana knows how to let the other person who knows exactly what they're doing guide her through a match.
Yeah.
I think Eva Marie was kind of convinced of her own self-importance.
Yeah.
But real quick before we continue to before I crap on Charlotte, because I'm not trying to do that, because I have the same thing with her I have to have with Brock Lesnar. I was talking to one of the groups I'm with on Facebook. We were saying how they tried to point out the fact of Charlotte being like other second generation wrestlers who are kind of propped up. And what the argument I made was, I'm not saying Charlotte's not good, because Charlotte's very good. She's one of the best wrestlers, period. And I think right now she's probably one of the best in-ring competitors, period. The problem with Charlotte is that she's overbooked.
Yeah.
And I get what some people might think. You're an Okada fan. Fair enough. My point is, you're an Okada fan. Fair enough. My point is that Okada's booking is even spaced out more than Charlotte's was half the time, and he had the belt for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Also,
And it's also because WWE has all these other women that they could have like used for that spot, and they're like, "Are you ready, Charlotte? Come on in."
yeah, we're
gonna make you a Grand Slam champion.
So that's a little bit of my 1 minute warning we'll get to later. But also, why was Ric Flair like? Did we need to see Ric Flair in the back watching the TV? Like that's the other thing with Charlotte. It's like,
why not?
Don't forget, she's a Flair. Like that's the other thing.
Hey, he brought her over. He probably called and was like, "Hey, you need a spot? She's ready." You know, I'm not gonna lie.
So, are we somehow thinking?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Charlotte looked damn good. She has her six-pack pretty much back.
Yeah, like Tommy said, it's
like,
not
dang.
that she's not good. She is probably one of the top, if at times, maybe the best WWE wrestler they got. But he's right.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I agree. We all agree. She's basically John Cena. I got it.
My thing is give her a chase, like make her like work for it. I mean, to me world titles are for like people who work hard for it, or when you want like your top person to be in the spotlight. And that's fine for her to be in the spotlight, but her winning it and losing it constantly was what hurt her. It's the same thing with Sasha, really. They're both good. I don't get what that trade, because you can have a trade-off back and forth with titles. I'm not necessarily against that. I am against the frequency you do it. Like there are world titles who I've seen like people traded back and forth. I'll use my Okada Tanahashi example, but those were spaced out like months in a difference, and they faced other people in the meantime, which gave people sense. Oh, this other person could possibly beat them. That doesn't happen with Charlotte.
I will never forget the one time the New Day were walking down to the ring, and you could hear them. And Big E says something about Charlotte, or they said something like she's going to be like a 42-time champion by next week,
or
something like those lines.
Yeah, I do remember.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
It's like that whole thing, like when Kofi was champion, he was saying, like there's guys in the company who win 10, 15 times, and then there's guys like me. Or like
one shot,
who get one shot only because the fans finally got behind them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it sucks to do that, but can't you build up? If you're that good of a writer and good of a entertainment, you can literally build up almost any wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, right there. That
exactly.
I was scared that was going to happen to two guys, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. Like when AJ showed up at the Rumble, we were all happy, but I was like, oh my God! Don't ruin AJ for the love of God, Vince. Do not ruin AJ. When he won the title twice, I was like, oh my God, he won it twice. And when Daniel Bryan main evented WrestleMania, I was like, is this as close to heaven as we're gonna get? Because it kind of feels like as close to heaven as we're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they do the same thing. They do the same thing to the women. They use the same women over and over.
Yeah.
And I get it too, because a lot of it's sad to say, but a lot of the women can't. They don't have like the charisma or the personality for it. And, Vince wants that. And a lot of the women still need to work on that.
I respectfully disagree. Because it depends on which woman you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying. Not all of them. I'm saying
Not
there's
all of
quite a
them.
few that are
Well,
good.
well, that same argument can be made for the men. Take the Hurt Business, for
True.
instance. I love Bobby Lashley, but sometimes, no offense to him, he can act like a blank slate. Essentially, he can be Jiren from Dragon Ball Super sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes he's like that. Put him with MVP, suddenly, this is the best act going. Cedric Alexander was a smiley guy, which I loved. He broke off from that, became evil, and I love him now. Mustafa Ali, if for the love of God, they will book Disruption right. Could be.
So what you're saying is MVP is the MVP. That's basically what it is, because
I'm saying too, like I'm saying too that
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because MVP is the MVP, no matter what.
I'm saying too that everybody knows that Vince has a type for male wrestlers that he likes. They have to be big and strong, or you have to be very, very, very charismatic. Hence the Miz. And women just gotta look good.
I feel like
good. Oh, you look good. Oh, you can be charismatic. Cool. Oh, you can kind of wrestle. That's okay. There's a few of them that do that.
JC, I feel like we could kind of use that to segue to the women's match. No, I mean that because in Sasha and Carmella, I want to give props to Carmella because Vince has been trying since what was her name? Emma to pull off this. He wants his blonde, bombshell, elegant wrestler again.
Supermodel kind of thing.
Yeah, and Emma didn't really do it. Honestly, Carmella has pulled it off. And this
good charisma.
Yes, this last month, the things back and forth with her and Sasha, and then the match itself, they were top notch. Like she needs to be moving up into that level with the Four Horsewomen as far as how often she's on there and getting some titles on her because
I need to go back and watch. I need to go back and watch that match and just listen to Corey Graves talk about her. That's
dude,
real.
oh my God, you take words out of my mouth because every time he said something about her, I was like, okay, how much of this is just him commentating or him just actually fawning over his girlfriend? So
the biggest thing about Carmella is that she is super charismatic and she can make anything work. I say it all the time. The best female wrestlers, as far as like they can keep a story going, are the ones that are like can probably be actresses. Hence Carmella, Alexa, Bayley, and Sasha.
Yeah,
they're good actresses that they can make anything work for them.
Well, you mentioned actresses. How about Sasha's DDT in the season finale of the Mandalorian? I'm just saying,
we talked about that.
I want her to get a jetpack, bring it in the ring at WrestleMania, do a tornado DDT through a table. I'm just saying you could do that at WrestleMania.
I want her to come out at WrestleMania in full Mandalorian gear.
Yes.
I
would love that.
I told him last night I wasn't impressed with the DDT. I wanted a Rocket Pack assisted Meteora. I wanted her coming in the air and then double knees down onto Boba. That's what I was like. Dude, that's one of her signatures.
Yeah.
She hits it like 6 times a match.
Because that would be sick as hell. I love the idea.
But it's like, oh my gosh.
Look, all I'm saying is she's in season 3. We're gonna get a bank statement. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna get a bank statement.
She's gonna be tapping out some stormtroopers.
Yeah. So I think we reached a good point to end that. I mean, we don't really need to talk about Roman Reigns. It went about as good as we thought. I mean, Kevin Owens made it great. It was basically a handicap match.
Kevin Owens was the workhorse in that match. Though.
Yeah, he really was.
He went through everything else. How is he still moving?
He got his ass handed to him. He didn't prove himself an MVP. I don't know what would.
I will note this. It was nice to cheer against Roman Reigns because he's playing a good heel. Versus cheering against him because he's annoying the shit out of me. Kevin Owens to win because Roman has been a great heel, and that was a welcome change.
Roman is a great heel. He should have been a heel from a long time ago, man.
Been a heel from Jump Street. He should have been ever.
Yeah. Did any of y'all see Kevin Owens the next day on social media when people were like, how come no one came out to help you? And so first he was like, well, obviously the way I've acted in the past, people don't want to do that. And then someone goes, and then he goes, well, how come Sammy didn't come out to help you? I told him he can't come anywhere near me until he cuts his hair.
Get the haircut. I was like, oh my gosh, I did see that.
Speaking of social media, real quick before we move on, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Shelton Benjamin, after he won the tag titles, went and visited Shad Gaspard's son.
Yes.
yeah.
Really, really awesome.
Yeah,
He didn't stay around for the rest of the show. He just left too. Yeah. Went straight.
And I think I just love the classiness of that, because I know that poor kid I know that he was getting some fan hate over that, so which is stupid. I mean, yeah, no. So I'm glad.
He made over that. I'm sure he got permission to do it, and it's a nice gesture. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of people were close to Shad Gaspard, and that's
a ton of people.
Yes.
Like his memorial service picture was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the number of guys from other companies.
As far as our pick results, I went 3-3 on TLC. Mike and Tommy both went 5-1. The only one they didn't get, of course, was Orton and Bray, which, by the way, I think they're basically making the Fiend the new Undertaker, get burned or buried alive, and then just disappear for a few months and then come back with a vengeance. That's really what it's going to be. So,
JC,
he was getting a suntan. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I was just gonna. Okay, but you probably won't like this one as much. But I was gonna say, did you watch Raw, JC?
I didn't see it, but if you're talking about the Alexa Bliss segment with Randy Orton, I did see that.
Okay, I saw that. I was just gonna say Alexa Bliss and knee socks. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
That's why I was like, oh well, I would agree with this.
Yeah.
But I mean, Randy. See, I thought you were upset with the main event because Randy Orton was covered up, and he had his jacket on. I figured that's why you didn't.
Yes. I did notice that. As soon as he came out with a full-on jacket, I was like, what are you doing?
Let's be honest. He didn't have to wear the jacket. He's all oiled up. That shit could have caught on fire.
No,
let's be honest here. So,
it's like that thing they do in high school classes where they put the stuff on your hand and they let it burn.
Look, I'm just mad he was covered up because when he doesn't have a shirt on, my wife is a lot happier. And happy wife, happy life. So, Randy, take your fucking shirt off next time. Okay? All right.
You heard it, folks.
Yes. On to our WrestleCast rating. 0 to 5. Find me WrestleMania 17, 0 December to Dismember. I'm giving this a 3.75 out of 5 because Randy did not have his shirt off, and because there was no Alexa Bliss on the show, and because of the whole dummy thing at the end. But other than that, it was actually a pretty solid show. I just the Inferno match. It was like as Tina said, why was this there? So
first, I think it would have made more sense. But I was like, what?
Yeah, Randy going again with the barbecue, that sort of thing. So
Rami disappeared. Where'd he go?
I don't know.
All right. He's laughing because he disappeared. See,
Tina,
I don't have a background. I need a background.
Yeah, Tina, do you have a ranking for the show?
Well, I only watched part of it, and from hearing y'all, it sounded like it was a pretty good show, except for the last match. So based off that, I'm gonna actually give it a 4.25.
Okay. 0.75 off because Randy didn't have a shirt off. Is that partially?
Exactly.
Okay, thought so.
And the dummy, Yeah,
the dummy. Mike, what about you?
I was actually going to go about 4.252. I was, it was one of those things where I wanted to go 4.5, but that ending, I was just like, it wasn't for me. Even the majority of the match itself wasn't horrible, given what it was, but just burning the little effort, whatever it was down there, the dummy. Mm-hmm. I was just like, oh, okay, you're all right. Because what also kind of bothers me is then like the next night on Raw, the announcers have to talk like legitimately, like Orton killed the dude. Meanwhile, let's go back, right after that to the rest of the show, and it's just so awkward for me. It's like so dumb.
Yeah. So 4.25 for you as well.
Yeah.
I will say that the rocking chair spot was kind of where he.
That was cool. That was cool. That's what I was running for the cinematic. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Tommy, what about you? Your ranking?
I'll agree. 4.25. I think I probably would have given it the same ranking I gave Final Battle had it not been for just that overall, and again, no offense to the Charlotte thing, but that was kind of predictable. It was like, okay, yeah, I kind of saw that coming a mile away. And again, not that it was that actually the match wasn't even that bad. It was just like that was a little bit too predictable. I mean, you could have built that a little bit, but whatever.
Actually, we kind of didn't mention this, but the finish of the match was a little off. I guess Charlotte was a little rusty or something. It wasn't the smooth transition into the pin and stuff, and her what did she call it? Her little ground cutter.
Oh, oh my God! What did she call that? Oh my God, what is it called?
It'll come to us eventually.
Yeah. Anyways,
What? I'm
her-
sorry, I missed it. What?
her little like flip over cutter when the girl's like kind of on their knees.
Charlotte's
What is that called? Hold on.
Anyways,
oh my God.
The natural selection.
natural
There you
selection.
go.
There,
Natural
yes, thank
selection.
you.
Yeah, it was kind of
My
awkward. She
God.
didn't hit it right, but yeah.
Thank God you're on the show, Tina, because we.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you.
That was,
She's like, what are y'all idiots talking about? Hello.
Duh. Sorry, I was writing something down.
Overall ranking is 4.125 for the show. So, given a quick rundown on the pay-per-views of the year, what we ranked them. If we take away Wrestle Kingdom, because Tommy was the only one that ranked that show and he gave it a 5, so that average is kind of jacked up. If we take that one out, our top ranked show of the year was NXT TakeOver War Games
Yes.
at 4.875. And our worst ranked show of the year, and it was the one that we all picked correctly, by the way, was WWE Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Too predictable.
And that
How
was
bad it was.
3.25 on the ranking on that. So
Yeah, that
What War
show is-
Games? What was War Games ranking?
War Games was, let me get back to it, 4.875.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So,
Wow.
I gave it
Yeah,
a 5, didn't I? I
think you did.
Yeah, you gave it a 5. You said it was as good as Wrestle Kingdom. So,
Night 1 or 2.
So,
And don't you dare do that again, sir. Don't you even.
with
You
that
You
though,
have no right to speak of New Japan anymore after that one joke.
let's move into our first ever WrestleCast year-end awards. Now, the way this works is that everyone has sent me their rankings, their top 3 or less than 3 if they can only think of one. Yeah, so for some, Tina can only think of one, and that's fine. So I'm taking the rankings that we did. I'll give you basically what our nominees
You said-
are. Like,
Some of us include more than 3, and I'm like, that's me. I was just saying.
no, so it's fine. I had a hard time coming up with sometimes 3 on certain categories as well.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Male Wrestler of the Year. And the nominees are, in alphabetical order, Drew McIntyre, Jon Moxley, Tetsuya Naito, and AJ Styles. We actually had 4 just because they're all ranked so high. The WrestleCast Male Wrestler of the Year is Jon Moxley.
Oh, that's how we're doing it?
Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. So,
Oh, I thought we were all picking individually.
You
My
get
bad.
you get points. I guess you get points by how you rank them. Is that what
yeah, I
you're
was
saying?
doing points how you ranked them. I'm giving you the nominees as the top ones. And
I didn't
I'll-
rank mine.
I don't want to share
Yeah.
secrets, but you should have told us this.
I'm sorry,
I
my
know,
bad.
I didn't even.
Unless you guys want to vote, we can do it that
To
way.
be honest
No,
with
I-
you, I didn't.
No, we're fine.
If
I'm
you're looking
fine
at-
that way.
If you're looking at my list, I didn't rank mine.
Oh, I thought you did.
1,
You
2,
put
3.
1, 2, 3, so I thought you.
Yeah, but I didn't put in order of number 1 and 2. Just,
My bad.
man.
Would y'all agree that Moxley was the best wrestler of the
Yeah.
year?
Okay.
That was my
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah, so mine too. So,
I didn't.
Uh,
I forgot.
well, I don't think we'll have an argument on
I
female
don't watch
wrestler.
AEW that much.
Okay. I don't think we'll have an argument on female wrestler of the year. The nominees, alphabetical order, are Bailey, Sasha Banks, Hikaru Shida, and Io Shirai. Those were our 4 nominees. Overwhelmingly, Bailey, female wrestler of the year.
Woo!
It
Yeah.
was. I mean,
Girl,
honestly,
girl,
honestly,
Girl.
with Bailey, it was nearly impossible to not say she was. Whether you liked it to be or not, I think what probably kept them afloat this year, even if you were sick of
Yes.
their book, was Bailey, because Bailey was like the hero who saved this city, is what she became.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially during the beginning of quarantine and the no fans without the Thunderdome when it first got going.
Yeah.
Like her, yeah, she was.
Well,
she
I
was-
said it.
her promos were stellar.
I
She
said
was-
it. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Bailey and Sasha kept the company alive.
Yeah.
They had their
Yeah.
own little banter, and it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
I literally just watched the show for them because everything else was boring.
I am not even going to remotely disagree with you on that. You're absolutely right.
Yep. Tag Team of the Year. Our nominees were FTR, The North, and the Street Profits. Our winner, the Street Profits.
Hey.
Hey!
Yes. Street Profits being ranked the top.
I gotta go get a cup. I'm just kidding.
You're right there. They're at the cabinet, right? So
I don't want
And, you know, they got the push, and I think they've done a good job.
yeah.
Try to keep it
I
up
was worried
Super
about
entertaining.
them with not having fans in the stands because their whole gimmick coming
Right.
through the stands with the cups, but they made it work. Still with the cups, even them coming out through the Thunderdome a couple times as well. So that's always been fun to watch.
I
do that, so.
think what was fun about that was the fans would have red cups anyway, just in the camera, just so that made it fun.
Yeah. All right, wrestling promotion of the year. Our top nominees: AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and NXT. And overwhelming AEW was the wrestling promotion of the year by Wrestling.
My favorite part about that is WWE isn't on the list.
No,
So I got confused. Can I just tell you? Can I just tell them I got
go ahead,
confused?
Tina. Yeah.
I just read promotion of the year and I was like, promotion of the year. And my head was not working. So I was like, promotion of the year. Oh, is that somebody from NXT that got promoted to WWE? Or was what was the other one that I told you?
Was that the best wrestling promo of the year?
Or was that the best promo? I'm confused.
Maybe we should.
And you were like, no, like the best company. Oh, but I did put the best promoted wrestler.
Well, even if we had a best promo of the year, again, the winner would be Bailey.
Well, how about the best promoted person?
Hello.
Like, who's the best promoted person from NXT to WWE?
There is no winner of that because every time they get promoted, Ben screws it up. So there is.
I
no
said
winner.
Street Profits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn it. You're right. I take it back. You're right.
All right, match of the year. This one's interesting here. We actually did have 4 nominees, and the voting on this was actually very close. Our rankings on this. We had the parking lot brawl between the Best Friends and Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, damn.
Stadium Stampede.
You said it, JC. Yes.
Yes, Stadium Stampede. Undisputed Era versus the Brand, War Games. And Ibushi versus Sonata at the G1 Climax Finals. It was close, but barely. The match of the year was Undisputed Era versus the Brand at War Games.
What was number 2?
Number 2 was actually a tie between the other 3.
Okay, do it.
Okay.
Really?
Hold
Oh.
on.
Yeah.
JC, what were the 2 teams in the AEW parking lot brawl?
Best Friends versus Pride and Prejudice. How you put it?
Yes.
Yes.
I did not name one because my brain was like, I don't even know.
Yeah, there's a lot of matches.
Thank you for
I had to
the
look back and
fact-
think, yeah.
No, see, I'm with Tina because like when I was trying to name match of the year, I was thinking, damn it, which matches really grabbed my attention? And I remember War Games for sure was one, but I was trying to remember and I remembered Wrestle Kingdom. I ranked that one because one of mine was Wrestle Kingdom was Okada and Naito. But I was like, there was some other match this year that I said that was just amazing, and I couldn't remember. So I scrolled through all of New Japan's shows this year, and I was like, G1 Climax, that's what it was.
Yeah, and I threw another one in there at the bottom, which was from NXT UK, which was Tyler Bate and Jordan Devlin from like February at NXT Blackpool. And I actually went back to rewatch it.
That was like the
January.
first pay-per-view of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, I went back to rewatch it, and I was like, yeah, that was a hell of a... And of course, with the UK crowd, that just makes it that much better with all their chants and stuff. But yeah, that was a really good match.
Yeah, my top pick was actually Stadium Stampede. I think that's the one that's been the most memorable for me for the year. That was just a lot of fun. It had everything. Even when we did the cinematic matches, that was my favorite. So
Gotta pay attention.
it's all good. Babe.
When I listed,
Like you have other things to worry about.
Yeah, my attention span is also like this.
Yeah. All right, pay-per-view event of the year. Our nominees are the WWE Royal Rumble, AEW Revolution, Wrestle Kingdom 14, and NXT TakeOver War Games. We actually have a tie for this. Our 2 best pay-per-view events of the year are WWE Royal Rumble and NXT TakeOver War Games.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting that we didn't make WWE Promotion of the Year, even in the rankings, but it gets a show on there.
I think a lot of that has to do with because the way WWE handled the pandemic. It was, I mean, they did a lot, but I was partial to the way AEW did it.
Yeah.
Personally, when we were talking promotion here, I liked how they set it up. I liked how they used the theater, had fans in there, but yeah.
JC asked me why I picked the Royal Rumble, and I was like, because it was the one that I remember because we had fans before this whole pandemic.
Yeah.
So to me, it was the best one because we were all like still together as friends watching it, and then
I also think it has the unfair advantage of Edge coming back.
That
so yeah,
too.
That was a huge moment.
Yeah. So that was our tie. So Well, those are your standard WrestleCast awards. Now we're going to have a little bit of fun. Every one of us was tasked with coming up with our own fun category and a winner of that said award. Tommy, you're worried about everyone taking your idea, but I actually have you listed here. You're going to go first here. So go for it. What is your category and who is your award winner?
My category is Betrayal of the Year, and I have to pronounce it Betrayal of the Year. And the winner of this category is Evil joining Bullet Club and betraying LIJ. Because when I tell you my heart was legitimately broken when I saw that moment, I am not kidding. I was like, no, what are you doing? No! And I was like, my wife can tell you, I was wrecked for like 3 days. I was like, 2020 has taken so much from me. And now it's taking Evil away from LIJ. I don't know what to do anymore. So yeah, I was a mess after that. So that's my award.
Right. Mike, what is your award?
So my award has a sponsor.
Okay.
My award is Fox the Phoenix Reborn from the Fire Award.
What?
And it's not what you think. It goes to the Good Brothers for being killed at WrestleMania and being reborn at I was going to say Super Brawl, not Super Brawl. Impact. What was the show they came and saved Eddie Edwards?
Slammiversary.
Was it Slammiversary?
Slammiversary. There you go.
Yeah.
Slammiversary.
Yeah.
Being reborn at Slammiversary. The Good Brothers.
That's fantastic.
That's very true because they would be just kind of killed them off and then they were
Like
able to
literally.
Yeah.
Well, they actually were dead, so you know.
Yeah.
So.
All right,
I
Tina.
have 3 awards.
3. Okay. What you got? Let's hear them. This will be fun.
Okay, so the first one, you kind of already agreed with me earlier about it. It was the Carrying the Company Award goes to Bailey and Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much during the pandemic.
Yeah.
My other one is the best reality wrestling related show, and that was Miz and Mrs. And my last one is the best music video of the year goes to Miz and Morrison.
Which, by the way, on Miz and Mrs., they showed them talking about that, planning that whole thing, and
then they show clips of it. It's hilarious.
Oh, you know
that's
what's
so
funny?
great.
It says she mentioned that. I actually did have one more award that I completely forgot that I was gonna mention. Just real quick, it's called I called it the Overlooked MVP Award, and it's going to Go Shiozaki and Pro Wrestling Noah because
I'm sorry, did you mispronounce Cesaro? Okay, good.
Oh my God.
To be fair, he was my number 2.
Okay.
So,
All right, I'll take it.
But no, because Pro Wrestling Noah, God bless them, have been doing they've been doing great shows. Like if you they're part of DDT now with DDT Universe, so you can watch their shows there, and their matches have been stellar. And Go Shiozaki as their champion has been putting on clinics, even including the match where it was an hour time limit, and for the first 30 minutes they literally did nothing but look at each other and walked around the ring for 30 minutes. I'm not kidding. It was hilarious. Anyway, that was mine. That's it.
All right. My award goes to the biggest blown opportunity of the year.
Oh, God.
And we're talking about somebody who got put over by legends, who was set to be the face of a company. It was historic. It was supposed to be amazing. And then you blew it. And, of course, I'm talking about congrats to Tessa Blanchard for biggest blown opportunity of 2020.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
I don't think anybody can disagree with that.
I could not agree more if I tried.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
before you finish, I have one, but I couldn't pick a wrestler because I couldn't decide.
Sure.
So, in y'all's opinion, who was the best released wrestler who basically redeemed himself? For example, Miro.
Ooh.
Let's see who else is there that Mike Bennett, Maria Bennett. Who else is there? There's a bunch of others, aren't there?
Eric Young.
FTR.
Eric Young.
FTR, I think my
FTR for sure.
FTR would probably be it. Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, my pick would be Eric Young.
Okay.
My pick would be Eric Young because of how he went back. And
I know who I'll pick, but go ahead. I'll know who I'll pick, but go ahead.
But my thing is people would say oh, he only had the world title for a little while, but that's no, that made sense because that was all about Rich Swann's redemption story. and Eric Young fully embraced that identity he had in Sanity, and what he had in TNA right before he left was that whole Psycho gimmick. And so my pick is Eric Young, because like he killed it immediately after he left.
I would say Deonna Purrazzo.
Ooh, that's a good pick. That's a
let go of NXT. Didn't have to really do the 90 days of his NXT contract. Goes to Impact, wins the title, and basically goes on Busted Open Radio and calls out everyone at WWE for not taking a chance on her. She says, "I'm going to prove to you guys were wrong." And I'm like, "Shit, fuck yeah, dude, go for it." She's already a 2-time champion, and yeah, that's Deonna Purrazzo for me.
I think I agree with you, babe.
Yeah,
I agree with you that she's shown a lot after all that crap that she went through.
I was gonna go FTR, but can I throw one more award out there then too?
Sure.
Also with a sponsor.
Yeah, go for it. Okay,
this is the Deadpool Maximum Effort Award, and it goes to Orange Cassidy.
Freshly squeezed.
Or
someone had to start the slow clap.
I was thinking of that, or actually doing the Orange Cassidy Award, and it goes to whoever.
Yeah. That's a great way to end this award show. So, yeah, this is an idea. Mike, great idea finally doing this. I think we'll be a bit more organized with it next year.
Yeah, we'll be more organized.
But this is, I do have one more award that's really for us. And I am naming this in honor of Tez. And this is going to be the award for who had the best pick percentage on all our picks for the whole year. And the stipulation is, yes, you have to make picks for at least half of the pay-per-views for the year. Otherwise, Tez would have won this with his.
Can I make that?
You made it. So, looking at all of our rankings, all of our picks, who is going to get the inaugural Tez Award? It actually is Tina.
Yeah,
oh,
66.55% of the picks correct. So, I will say this: we were all above 60%. We were all above 60%. So
nice.
So,
who was second?
Tommy was second at 66.03. Yeah. So it was between Tommy and Tina. They're very close. Mike was at 61.68.
No, I should have been number one. I'm calling the Attorney General right now. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, I like a
that
recount.
guy either, so.
I like a recount of the vote.
Mike was 61.68 and I was 60.05, so I was barely 60%. But still, it was a funnier picks, and maybe this will be something for us to look forward to every year. I thought if I'm going to come up with an award that comes in honor of Tez, it has to be that. You know, and I thought it'd be something for us to strive to. Tina's going to be celebrating it.
Yeah.
Well, all year.
I think I will actually try and come up with a trophy design for us to go for every year. It's something to look forward to.
A belt.
A belt. Okay. Yeah. We might have to pitch money for that, but sure.
Only on one condition: if we can cut a promo after we win. I mean, true.
Yeah,
Tina
and
will
on
win
the belt,
every year, but
and on the belt you should put hello there. What was it? Hello
How
there.
hey there and hello card. Yeah.
On it.
Yeah, either hey there and hello. Yeah.
I'm down with that.
I'll have to come up with a belt design and then see who can make it. And yeah, send me some money, guys. 'Cause I don't need it.
Any random belt designer in Texas, there are at least 10. So
At least 10, there's probably hundreds.
Well,
at least.
I'm using that to segue into our discussion about Tez. I'll tell you, Tommy, of course, was on the show with me last week, and having to go back and edit that show after we had just talked about him was very surreal.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we at the beginning of the show, I said, hey, Tez is going to be back next week along with Tina and Mike to talk about our awards, and then I get the news midway through. What you don't see on the show on the edit was that I cut out a section where I told Tommy, Tommy, hold up. I got a text from a number. I didn't recognize the number because I didn't have it saved. And they're telling me that Montez is going to be with the Lord. And I was like, and Tommy's like, that's strange. So I answered back. I go, what? I go, who is this? And then wasn't getting a response. I was like, well, let's just keep going. And it was probably like 5 minutes or so that I had to cut out because we were trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And we kept going. And then right in the middle of our discussion, I mean, I was a little flustered the next two matches. You can kind of see it. I'm not the same. And right in the middle of the next two matches, I get the text confirming who it was. It was Tez's mom that messaged me the news. And says in my head, I'm like, you know what? Ted would want us to finish the damn show. So I had to. He wanted us to keep going. And there was an emotional moment having to break that news at the end of the show, and now to finally talk about him. There's no fitting way to talk about a guy that was just always a bright spot in the room. I mean, his smile lit the room, his positive attitude, and God, there's so much to say about him. Tina, what would you like to say about Tez? I know Mike and I shared some thoughts last night on the Geekcast, but
Am I first? Okay, fine.
'cause yeah,
Taz was always just so happy to be at our house because we've had we're usually the headquarters for the pay-per-views, of course, pre-pandemic, and we like to have everybody over. It's kind of our thing, and he's always the first one to show up. He's always the first one to say he'll be there, whether we buy food or make food. He will bring either a side or he'll bring his own food. He has also brought his girlfriend, or fiance, I should say, at the time, a few times over to our house, so we got to meet her. Min. So it's kind of a weird feeling because of the whole pandemic. You know, we don't get to see all of you all the time anymore in person. So I feel like the first time that we're going to actually have this, hopefully this all goes away soon, and we have y'all over to our house, it's going to be a weird feeling not having him here. I was telling JC on this past Saturday, I went to HEB. I always go every morning to HEB. If you don't know what HEB is, it's a grocery store here in Texas. It's awesome.
Good God, grocery store. Yeah.
And I go really early in the morning, so that way I don't have as many people around, and I can get all the specific things we need because, JC does have an autoimmune disease, and I have to get specific things for him and my daughter, who's also lactose intolerant. And so I'm walking, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get these little bags of salads. And there's one particular that I started eating, I don't know, like a few years ago. And I was like, as soon as I grabbed it, I was like, it hit me in the head that, oh my God, the reason I eat this salad is because Tez brought this over to my house one time.
Yeah.
He brought it over to our house, made it for us, and I loved it. And then ever since then, I would buy it for myself every once in a while, just for lunches for work. And I don't know why, as soon as I grabbed it, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that he's not going to be around. I don't know. I miss his funny little things when we had in our group chats. I miss just having his positive light, because he was always happy to see everyone, always happy to, say hi to everyone. He was so smart. He's just so intelligent about everything he knows. And I told JC that one year we all need to go to PAC South for him.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Make shirts for him, everything. And just remember what the positive and great person he was.
Yeah. Tommy, you and Tez are very close. I know it hits you pretty hard. If you're comfortable sharing anything you want to say, go for it, man.
Yeah, it's been one of the more difficult weeks for me ever since last Tuesday. My sleep's been off. I think he had his Facebook for practitioner set for some automatic updates. So those came up a couple times because I was following his page. I talked to Min a couple times, and she's hanging in there. Yeah, man. All those pictures I found of me and him were a trip, because I had actually forgotten about a couple of them. The funny part was when I was telling my family what was going on, my brother reminded me that he was actually at my graduation party when I graduated UTSA, and because I remember my brother said, because my brother told me, he's like, he looked at Tez and said, "Damn, that dude looks just like Tommy." So yeah, and those pictures we took, the other guy in the picture is my other best friend John. Me and John met at UTSA, and when we hung out, when he got there, he met Tez too, and just like they did, and Tez with everybody, we just hit it off, And so when we took those pictures being silly and everything, it was just like, that was the good memories. I didn't post this one on my public accounts, but I sent it to everyone here. The picture of even me and Tez, and when I was still dating my ex, which I thought, yeah, that's hilarious. And then of course, he was at my wedding. You know, how I explained it to John, me and him were talking about it, is Tez was not the kind of guy who I just, you know, had to talk to, you know, all the time and everything to know he was my friend. When I had to talk to him, when I need someone to talk to, he was there. When I would have a random tech question, he was available. He's like, yeah, man, what's up? And he would tell me. And if it was a major event, you know, that was something great in my life, the graduation, the wedding, I was like, hey, man, it would be great if you'd show up. Maybe he had something else planned. Maybe he had something else to do. Maybe he had some other event that he committed himself to, but he either didn't go or went late or came to my event afterwards because he was a good friend. So, yeah. So saying the hi there, hey there, and hello was just, you know, one of my ways to honor him. I'm going to figure out something else. I'm determined now to write another book with him as the main character. I don't know how I'm going to work it in yet, but I'm going to figure this out, damn it. It's the last thing. So it's, oh man, it's been bittersweet. My wife can tell you I've been crying off and on. Like, this hit me as hard as it did when my cousin passed a few years back. And it's been hard to deal with, but at the same time, I know where he is now, and I know I'll see him again. So
Yeah.
I just miss him on this side of the living. So,
Mike, anything you wanted to share more than we did last time on the Geekcast?
You know, I think the thing is of all of us, I probably knew him the least, just because I think I kind of mentioned this last night. You guys, when we go out to wrestling, like, y'all are super social, and y'all just make friends with everybody. And I'm usually a little more introverted until I get to know people. But like I said, Tez was one of those guys. I think I had met him a few times at the wrestling shows, but like Tina said, it was always at Charles' house for pay-per-views. And, you know, everything y'all said, he just befriends you with, like, no afterthought, just treats you like he's known you a long time. You know, I was telling, you know, last week I wasn't on the show. I was finishing up with school last week, and you know, I told y'all weren't going to be on there, and like I said, I got the text, and you were like, "Hey, jump back on the call," and I was like, "That's weird." And the thing was, you know, normally when you put out the show, I watch it like that day or the next day. But with the last 2 weeks of school being so busy, I had not watched the previous week until the weekend. So like I had just seen it before Tuesday. So you tell me that, and literally the only thoughts in my head was like, we were just on the podcast together. We were just podcasting last week.
Yeah.
And it just, it sucked, man. And, you know, he was just a great guy. And it's all his little things, like I was telling, like Tina said too, like, I'm so used to his little comments as we're doing stuff in the wrestling little group chat we have. And yeah, it's just, it sucked. But we love you, Tez. And we'll keep this going, and you know, we won't forget you. So
Yeah, you know, I still need to put a blooper reel together for like sometime next week or whatever. I might throw some Tez highlights if I can find some. I still remember after Mike had debuted on the show, we just spent an episode, the five of us, and Tez called in for it, talking about what made us wrestling fans, and that was really cool for us to kind of learn more about each other too. One fun thing, Tommy, you introduced us to Tez, and I can't thank you enough for that. Tez introduced us to Red Flags. It's probably our favorite card game now. I've introduced my mom to it. Yeah, you think you have it there right behind you, babe.
yeah.
We ended up buying our own version of it. Yeah, Tez let us borrow that, actually take it to the beach where my mom could play it. My mom loves it. So we actually bought our own copy of it. We introduced everybody to it. It is so much fun.
Great game.
One thing that me and him, because my ex wanted over, was Scott Pilgrim versus the World, because she got me into it, and then me and him just like started talking about it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
and it's like it was like I was telling people, like, man, it's I haven't watched it again yet. I was like, it's gonna be hard to watch that movie, man. Like, I still love it. It's like, it's one of my favorite movies. Like, man, it's gonna be hard to watch knowing that, because we would randomly make jokes about it, like, you know. So
I have the comic book too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read all those.
When they were saying that about how he loves Scott Pilgrim, I was like, who did it?
Yeah.
When one of my favorite pictures that we ever took was that one with me, him, and Rachel Summerlin, because that was like one of our first times that we had met, and because everyone joked that we were brothers. Of course, because we look so much alike. So it didn't care. We kind of leaned into that a lot. So, but it was it was just like fun moments like that were just fun. Just
the first time I saw that picture, I was like, "Holy crap! They look like twins in that picture."
Yeah.
I've never seen this
Yeah,
picture.
no lie. We didn't really see it at first ourselves, but when we saw that picture, we were like, "Oh, damn! I kind of get everybody's point."
Yeah.
As far as the Scott Pilgrim thing, we were all looking forward to the re-release of the video game on January 14th, and we were planning. He's going to join us with the Geekcast to play it every now and then, and we'll stream it. But we'll figure it out. We all got to play. If we all get it on PC, it'll be fun. So, I will say we have set up a GoFundMe with Tez's family's blessing. We set up a GoFundMe last week. We set the goal at $5,000, and we hit that goal in 36 hours, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The GoFundMe is still open for donations. I'll have the link here in the description. And we've already broken $7,500 on it. So I can't, for everyone that has donated or shared, cannot thank you enough. No matter how little or how much it was, whether you're anonymous or public out there, thank you. I can't thank you enough. All that money is going to Tez's family and to help them with funeral expenses, because as shit has hit the fan this year, especially right now, it's hard for anybody to think about having to pay for something like that, especially this close to the holidays. So, go ahead, Tommy.
I was gonna say I shared it with my family, and I said just share it around. I was like, like you said, it's been a crazy year, and the last thing anyone was thinking about, especially for his poor family, was paying for a funeral. It was like, so I was like, if you guys I told my family, if you can just share it with people you guys know, if you can give at all, great. If you can't, fantastic. Just tell people about it. And I told some friends of mine too. I was like, because the funny part about all this was friends of mine who didn't know his name, but knew his face. It was like, they were like, I was telling people, oh, my friend Montez passed away. They were like, oh man, that's so sad. And then I'll post a picture. They're like, that's Montez. Like, oh my God. My sister, who lives in New York now, actually knows his mom, and was like, oh, so she texted me back like, oh my God, Tez passed away. I was like, yeah. I was like, I know his mom, and I was like, oh, good. So the heartbreak is universal. That's fantastic. So that helped me a lot. So
I think I told you, Tommy, that I have one of my childhood best friends. Her brother messaged me on Facebook and was like, hey, you knew Tez? How do you know Tez? And I was like, wait, how do you know Tez? And he's like, I worked with him at his job. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
So it's a small world.
Left and right. Yep.
San Antonio is the biggest small city in the world. Sometimes
it really is. It really is. Yeah.
Or the whole 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think when you break Tez down to nuts and bolts, he was just the kind of guy that everyone would like to know anyway. So if you know him, you have nothing but good stories about him. He had that kind of personality. I remember when Ted messaged us on the group when he was talking about Ted's videos and said he was brilliant. I was like, yeah, and I admitted, I've never admitted this out loud, and I really hate that I never told him this, but he was a hero. He was a personal hero of mine for all the stuff that he knew to talk about. It was like I respected the hell out of that guy, and yeah, and I want, and like a lot of ways I want to be like him. So,
it's never too late if you can be like Tez.
Yeah,
he was someone special. So thank you, Tez, for all the memories. We are going to miss you. To Min, we feel for you, but we are all your family. Tez was family to us, and I hope you do consider us your family. You're always more than welcome to come say hi when this shit is over. And just hang with us. Celebrate a birthday. I think Tez and my birthday are like a week apart. So if we're able to get together this year or in future years, it'd be great. Crying out loud, I'm turning 40 this year. I'd like to celebrate with everybody.
Watch us yell at the screen during wrestling in happiness or disappointment.
So
she knows.
Yeah, she knows.
Here a few times. She was here a few times at the house. She knows that we're pretty loud.
Yeah. Well, I'm planning to, at least for the Rumble this year, do some sort of like live stream reaction, even if it's remote. We'll figure something out, and we can react to the Royal Rumble. That'll be fun. Yep. Yes. So, Again, our GoFundMe, Fortez, you can keep donating to it. It's in the description here below. I've also tweeted it out at TCG_WrestleCast. We're going to move out into our 1 minute warning segment. Mike, you mentioned that you had one.
Yes.
You ready to bring yours to the table here, sir?
Yeah.
All right. Ready, set, and go.
All right. So if you've watched the WrestleCast before, you know what a big fan of the IIconics, really all of us were, and how disappointed we were in when they broke them up. But I would just like to point out where they have now booked both of them. Peyton is in a tag team with Lacey Evans, and Billy Kay for the last 2 weeks has been looking for a partner to fight the Riot Squad. So just so we're clear, they broke up the funniest tag team in the WWE to move them and separate them into other tag teams. I'm just going to leave it there
Yeah.
and say, what? I mean,
You've got to be joking me.
yes, thank you.
Joke.
That's an appropriate way to end it. You got to be joking me.
And you know
What?
what's funny? Now, the second you said that, all I can picture is Tez just like nodding his head, like I can just see Tez right now. Like,
Yep.
That's stupid. Yep, I can see that. That's stupid.
Yep. Tommy, do you have anything this week to close out the year?
Actually, yeah, I do.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, set, and go.
Okay, so for starters, just Wrestle Kingdom is coming up soon, and I'm super excited. The card looks stacked, and I told JC this last week, Mike, Jeff Cobb's getting his title shot at Wrestle Kingdom. So
Yes.
yeah, and he's on the main card from the looks of things. So yeah, big things coming for him next year for sure. Also, I want to shout out Pro Wrestling Noah and Stardom, because I think Trey Miguel said it best on Twitter. I'm thankful Pro Wrestling survived 2020. I think we're all thankful Pro Wrestling survived 2020. But Stardom and Noah have been also putting on great shows. Stardom just had a huge show with like a lot of titles on the line and new factions formed and everything. And if you guys are still able to, want to get some more wrestling under your belt, DDT Universe is a brand new subscription service. Stardom World has started up. They started last year, I think. And also Stardom will be at Wrestle Kingdom again this coming year. So yeah, just good news there finally. So.
All right. Cool. Tina, do you have anything this week?
Really short, maybe, but nothing like big or anything.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm going to say it once. I'm going to say it again. Watch Miz and Mrs. It is hilarious. This past week, Miz was trying to prove a point to Maurice that he could basically teach his daughter to swim. And Maurice was like, no, we're going to hire someone. And she's like, why are we going to pay for someone to teach my daughter how to swim? I'll do it. And it's hilarious because the first day she's trying to teach her in the pool, and Maurice comes out in a bikini and is like rubbing oil all over her body to try to distract him.
Because they made a bet. They made a bet that, yeah.
And then Maurice finally leaves the house or something because she's like working. And Miz brings in an Olympic swimmer.
Ryan Lochte, a friend of his. Right?
Yeah, to help teach his daughter how to swim. And because they had bets, the bet was if Miz wins, Maurice had to like detail his golf cart.
Yeah.
If Maurice wins, he has to give a foot massage to Maurice and his mother-in-law Margot.
Oh, I would do whatever it takes to win that bet too.
Yeah,
it was hilarious. You all have to watch it. I swear they need more than 30 minutes.
I also want to continue my campaign for Miz and Maurice as the official reality family of the USA Network and get rid of the Chris Lees.
Give them an hour. Give them an hour.
I support that.
After I watched TLC, what I put on Twitter, I said I'm officially starting a petition that Billie Kay never change because she's just hilarious.
She really is. She's the Oscar mask.
The dude. A paper plate and basically a tongue depressor taped together, and she drew on it. I said, I'm starting a petition that Billie Kay never change. Because if she does, that is a sad day for the whole world. I have started this petition now, and I want everyone to sign this.
I love how
Billie Kay never change.
I love how Oscar's like, position's already filled. And you're not ready for Oscar.
Yeah.
You're not ready for Oscar.
We talked a lot about things this show and this year. I will say this last year has taught me. I honestly, I just want to say thank you to you guys. I started this 2 years ago, and I didn't know what was going to happen when we all had to start shutting down and social distancing. But I really appreciate you guys, Tina, of course, you as well. Even though you're not on every show, you do commit to this, and Tez as well when he committed to it for sticking this through. This has been a crazy, crazy year, and we're all happy to see this year go for the most part. I can't. There were some good things. There's a lot of bad things, but thank you guys for sticking this out. Thank you everybody for watching, subscribing with us, and for.
I said it once. I'll say it again. Also, this show basically helped JC cope with his illness, his autoimmune disease, and because I saw it before we started this, how much he was not himself when he got diagnosed, and when we started doing this, I could see his it helped his mental state a lot, and he looks forward to it every week. So thank you guys for continuing to do this with him, because I, as a wife, appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for that, and let's keep this going to make 2021 better. Maybe we'll have some live shows. I know we're getting ready for Tommy, the annual time he actually hosts the show and talking about Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes.
We're getting ready for that. And most importantly, if you haven't, go watch the challenge. Leo Rush is holding his own on the challenge. I know we're only 2 episodes in, but
oh man, I forgot
he's not getting bullied around. If you missed it, go to the MTV app, go to MTV's website. You can watch it there on demand. Leo Rush is holding his own. So
only 2 episodes so far. So
yeah,
and I just want. Sorry.
Go for it.
I just want to add real quick too, and I mean this in the nice way. So first of all of you who subscribe and watch, we appreciate you, and we thank you for joining us every week for this. But at the same time, if we just did this and never recorded it, and it was just us talking wrestling every week, I would still love the hell out of it, because it's really all it is to me.
Yeah.
Is hanging out with you guys to talk wrestling. And I'm glad that we put it out on the YouTube and that there's people who follow us. But for me, it's just being able to talk wrestling and have that every week, because you know how it is, guys. There's not a lot of people who, we got to find our wrestling friends and family from the group of people we can talk to this about. And
in a way, this has also helped our mental state this year.
Yes.
Sure.
Not just JC's. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can just blame the WWE and Vince McMahon for a lot of things. It helps.
Yes.
Thank you, Vince.
So,
thank you for letting us blame you.
Yes. Thank you for giving us things to shit on you about and everything. Thank you, WWE. Thank you, AEW. Thank you, Impact, New Japan, Ring of Honor, everyone for keeping going and just working it. And all the hard work is paying off. Congrats real quickly also to Matthew Palmer, who's going to be wrestling on Impact first year show 2021, and looking forward to it. So,
dude, I was like, oh my god, every time I hear something of good news, I'm just like, it's good news. There's some good news somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can we just quickly, just remind ourselves of his ACW storyline with Masada when he went from Centerfold to
Son of Anarchy.
Super Series,
Son of Anarchy, and then back to Centerfold.
Yeah.
With what was it? I can feel it.
Yeah.
What's that song? Yeah, that was just
In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, seriously, guys, if you get a chance, watch him on Impact, because he is super talented, and I'm glad he's getting a chance to shine.
I'm already singing his praises on every social media platform I can. Like people, the level of not shutting up I'm about to do by Matthew Palmer is actually going to be kind of insane.
Yeah.
So
I've said it before. My favorite I Quit match was him against Robert Evans in ACW. That was.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
That was sadistic.
Wait,
so.
Okay, so he posted a picture recently on Facebook and of him like doing a crazy face. I said, "This is probably the second or third most scary I've ever seen." He said, he asked me. He said, "What was number one?" You covered a guy in lighter fluid and was about to light him on fire. He's like,
and that was no dummy. There was no camera trick.
And I said, and before that, you threw an axe into the ring and it sparked on the ground. He was like, "Oh yeah, I did do that."
Oh man.
I'm hoping I get to see him live again, and if it's on TV, if I can yell out "Blue Steel," see if he'll give me the look when he's when in the ring. So
I still have the DVD he made where he took the picture himself of him doing the pose on the cover, and I was like, I just love the fact that I have this. I don't even. Just the fact that this exists makes me happy.
You know how many songs are in my playlist just because of they were used as
wrestling?
themes
Yes.
from ACW,
Exactly.
and Centerfold is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Dude, I have listened to The Show Goes On by Lupe Fiasco so much. He's my number 3 favorite rapper of all time, and I can recite that song over.
I mean,
and
come
over.
on, we use it for our wedding.
Yes,
We entered our
I
wedding
know,
for that.
because we lost our collective shit when you did that. So, and your poor families, I feel so bad for them. They're like, what is wrong with these black people, and why are they all here in the first place?
Why is everybody going? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Annual had titles, man.
Yes. Thank you, ACW, for that too.
Thank
the
you.
actual titles. So
That was awesome.
for
Your wedding
us,
was so lit. Oh my god.
gosh. As for us, which by the way, it's been 10 years as of 2 days ago that I asked Tina to marry me. So
Yeah.
you believe that?
What a decade.
Wow. Yeah.
What a decade. Yes. What a decade.
What a decade. Our Twitter account at @CCG_WrestleCast. And of course, thank you again for subscribing here to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Next week, I'm going to be working on the part 2 of our blooper reel for 2020. Might have a Tez Memorial in there. We'll see some of his funny moments. And we're going to try and sneak in maybe our first episode of 2021, maybe late 2020. But we'll be talking about Wrestle Kingdom 15, previewing that, because that is January 4th and 5th.
Guess where I am right now.
Yeah.
That's where I'll be.
My picks are everything Tommy picks. No.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, guess where I'll be when you have that show? Not on.
Okay.
Because I would be doing the same thing. I'm gonna go after Tommy.
Yeah. We'll probably have that late in the week, possibly record it, I don't know, New Year's Day or something. We'll figure that out. Tommy's going to be hosting it. It's the one show he hosts every year and the one he looks forward to.
I'm waiting to host my second one.
I know if they would bring it back.
I want you to host your second one. I do. I want you to host that.
Looking for Evolution 2.
Hey guys, y'all want me to host too,
Damn
right?
it.
Yeah.
Right? Oh.
Yeah.
Tell you what, we're going to work that out. I will say this. Whether we get Evolution or not, I would like for everyone besides me to host 2 shows next year.
Yeah.
If that could be possible.
Okay, War Games. I call War Games.
Okay.
I call anyone where Cesaro's in the main event. Oh.
You made me sad. Damn.
I think I'm like, War Games, and then what else would I want if there's no Evolution?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll kind of work the logistics of that and just kind of claim that. So just
I'll take Roadblock or.
You're gonna take Extreme Rules, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Last year you did Extreme Rules.
Thank you everybody for joining us. This year is finally at a close, and let's hope things are better next year. So joining us, of course, is Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
My beautiful wife, Tina.
Adios. Stay safe, guys.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are
fake. Have a safe holiday,
2020,
everybody.
suck it!
Hey yo, subscribe to the channel by clicking right here.
Or if you want to watch more videos, click right here.